10 pickup trucks that can last 500,000 miles. What if a pickup truck could still be running at 500,000 miles? Not in a museum, still working, still starting every morning. 10 trucks made this list, and not all of them are the ones you'd expect. Some earned their reputation through simplicity, some through pure stubborn engineering, and one truck's reputation is so extreme that 500,000 miles sounds less like a miracle and more like a challenge it was built to accept. Stick around, that one's coming. Like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. Let's start with number 10, Nissan Titan XD, 5.0-liter Cummins V8 diesel. We're starting with a truck that catches people off guard, the Nissan Titan XD. Under the hood sits something Nissan fans didn't expect to see, a 5.0-liter Cummins V8 diesel. The Cummins name immediately gives this truck some serious credibility. Picture the badge on the tailgate, the same Cummins name associated with legendary Ram diesels for decades, now powering a Nissan pickup. But here's the catch. The Titan XD simply hasn't been around long enough to build the kind of decades-long, 500,000-mile track record that some older trucks on this list have. That's important. A truck can have strong engineering and serious potential while still lacking the decades of evidence needed to call it a high-mileage legend. So this one gets the benefit of the doubt, but not the benefit of history. Strong potential, limited track record. That's why it starts us off at number 10. But the next truck has something the Titan doesn't, a much longer resume. Number 9, Chevrolet Colorado/GMC Canyon, 2.8-liter Duramax diesel. A mid-sized truck with a real diesel engine under the hood? That alone makes this one interesting. The Chevrolet Colorado and GMC Canyon offered something unusual: diesel torque and efficiency in a smaller pickup. Picture one towing a trailer up a long highway grade. The diesel quietly pulling while using considerably less fuel than many larger gasoline-powered trucks. With consistent maintenance, these trucks can accumulate serious mileage. But there's a reason it's only number 9. It's simply too young to have the decades of high-mileage evidence behind it that the old legends have. The Duramax name carries serious weight, though. And if these trucks continue accumulating miles the way many owners expect, their reputation could become much stronger with age. For now, it's a truck with potential rather than proven 500,000-mile history. And speaking of unexpected trucks, the next one doesn't even look like a traditional pickup underneath. Number 8, Honda Ridgeline. Some truck purists might already be annoyed. A Honda on a list about surviving 500,000 miles? Absolutely, but hear me out. The Ridgeline isn't trying to be a heavy-duty workhorse. It doesn't have the massive frame of an F-350. It doesn't have a giant diesel engine. And it isn't designed to spend its entire life pulling enormous trailers. Instead, Honda took a completely different approach. The Ridgeline uses unibody construction and a V6 powertrain, giving it a much more SUV-like driving experience. And that's actually part of its advantage. For an owner who doesn't constantly tow massive loads or abuse a truck off-road, the Ridgeline can be a remarkably sensible, long-term vehicle. High-mileage examples are out there, and the Honda V6 platform has a strong reputation for durability when properly maintained. It won't win a tug-of-war with a Super Duty, but if your goal is simple transportation, light-duty hauling, and keeping the same vehicle for years, the Ridgeline makes a surprisingly strong case. And now we're leaving the underdogs behind, because the next trucks were built for one thing: work. Number 7, Toyota Tacoma. The Toyota Tacoma's reputation has become almost mythical, and for good reason. Across multiple generations, Tacomas have developed a reputation for accumulating enormous mileage while continuing to handle everyday work. 4-cylinder, V6, manual, automatic. The formula changed over the years, but the reputation remained. Picture a farm truck with 300,000 miles on the odometer, still making daily trips, still hauling equipment, still starting when the key turns. That's the kind of image that helped build the Tacoma legend. But there's a major problem: the frame. Certain Tacoma model years, particularly in areas where road salt is heavily used, became notorious for severe frame corrosion. Toyota even took major steps to address the issue, including extended corrosion coverage and buyback programs in affected cases. And that creates an important lesson. An engine can be incredibly durable, But if the frame underneath it is destroyed by rust, none of that matters. So if you're looking at a high-mileage Tacoma, don't just open the hood. Get underneath it. Inspect the frame. Because sometimes the biggest threat to a legendary engine isn't the engine at all. It's what's holding the truck together. And now we're moving into one of America's most recognizable pickups. Number 6. Ford F-150. 4.6-liter modular V8. Picture a two-wheel drive F-150 from the late 1990s or early 2000s. It's been working for decades. The paint is faded, the interior shows its age, but the engine is still running. That's the appeal of the 4.6-liter modular V8. It wasn't the biggest engine in the lineup. It wasn't the most powerful, but it was common, relatively straightforward, and supported by an enormous parts and repair network. And when you're trying to keep a truck alive for decades, that matters. Because at 500,000 miles, you're not just maintaining an engine, you're maintaining an entire machine. Suspension components wear out, sensors fail, bearings wear, transmissions need attention, electrical components age. Eventually, almost everything on the truck has to be repaired or replaced. The easier and cheaper those repairs are, the better your chances of keeping the truck alive. That's where an old, common F-150 has a major advantage. But the next truck takes that philosophy even further. Number 5. Chevrolet Silverado / GMC Sierra. 5.3-liter Vortec V8. This might be the least glamorous engine on the list, and that's exactly why it deserves to be here. The 5.3-liter Vortec V8 was produced in enormous numbers. That means parts are everywhere, mechanics know them, repair information is everywhere, and there are decades of experience keeping these engines on the road. Imagine something going wrong on your truck. Instead of needing a specialist halfway across the country, there's a good chance the local mechanic has already repaired the same problem dozens of times. That accessibility is a form of durability all by itself. But there is a catch. Certain versions and model years developed problems, including increased oil consumption and other age-related issues. So maintenance history matters. A neglected 5.3 can become expensive. A properly maintained one, it can keep working for an incredibly long time. And now we're entering serious diesel territory, because the next truck has earned one of the strongest reputations in the entire pickup world. Number 4. Ford F-250 / F-350 Super Duty. 7.3-liter Power Stroke. Ask a diesel enthusiast about old-school reliability, and there's a good chance this name comes up. The 7.3 Power Stroke. This engine became one of Ford's most respected diesel power plants. It wasn't built to be quiet. It wasn't built to be luxurious. And it certainly wasn't designed around the technology found in today's diesel trucks. But that's exactly what many owners love about it. It's relatively simple. It's durable. And it was built during an era when diesel pickups were expected to work hard for years. Picture the odometer rolling past 300,000 miles, then 400,000, while the truck is still towing and working. There are properly maintained examples that have reached extraordinary mileage. But like every engine here, it has weaknesses. The high-pressure oil system is an important area to understand and maintain, along with the other age-related components that come with a decades-old diesel. Still, when it comes to old-school diesel durability, the 7.3 Power Stroke has earned its reputation. But now we're down to the final 3, and this is where the competition gets serious. Number 3. Toyota Tundra, first generation. 4.7-liter V8. Toyota took the reliability reputation it built with passenger cars and applied it to a full-size pickup. The result? The first-generation Tundra. And underneath the hood was Toyota's 4.7-liter V8. This engine developed an almost mythical reputation for durability. Picture a first-generation Tundra still on the road more than 2 decades after it was built. It's no longer new, it's not flashy, but it starts, it drives, and it works. That's the kind of longevity owners remember. But there's one maintenance item you absolutely cannot ignore: the timing belt. This engine uses a timing belt, and keeping up with its replacement schedule is critical. Ignore major maintenance, and even a legendary engine can suffer catastrophic damage. Take care of it, however, and the first-generation Tundra becomes the kind of truck owners simply don't want to sell. And now, only 2 remain. Number 2. Ram 2500/3500, 5.9-liter, 24-valve Cummins. Now we're getting into serious diesel territory. The 5.9-liter 24-valve Cummins brought more technology and capability to the Cummins platform while maintaining the reputation for heavy-duty work that made the name famous. Compared with the earlier 12-valve, it's more electronically controlled, but it still has the massive displacement, strong torque, and heavy-duty architecture that made these engines so respected. Picture a truck pulling serious weight while the odometer keeps climbing. 200,000 miles, 300,000, 400,000. At this point, you're not just talking about transportation anymore. You're talking about a machine that's become part of someone's life. The 24-valve Cummins has a strong, high-mileage reputation, but it doesn't get the #1 position because there's another Cummins, and it's even simpler. Number 1, Ram 2500/3500, 5.9-liter 12-valve Cummins. This is where the list gets controversial. Some people will argue for Toyota. Others will choose the 7.3 Power Stroke. But if I had to bet on one pickup platform based on mechanical simplicity, repairability, parts availability, and decades of high-mileage examples, this is the one I'd choose. The 5.9-liter 12-valve Cummins. This engine came from a different era. No complicated modern emission system, no mountain of sensors controlling every function, no dependence on a laptop just to understand what's happening inside the fuel system. It's a big, mechanically driven diesel designed around one basic mission: make torque, keep working. And that's exactly what made it legendary. There are documented examples of these engines reaching extremely high mileage, including examples approaching and exceeding the 500,000-mile mark when properly maintained. But here's the important distinction. The engine isn't magic, and the truck isn't indestructible. The transmission can fail, the suspension wears out, the cooling system ages, the body can rust, electrical components can develop problems. A neglected Cummins is still a neglected truck. That's why the real secret isn't simply buying a truck with a legendary engine. It's maintaining it, changing the oil, keeping the cooling system healthy, replacing worn components before they become major failures, and fixing problems instead of ignoring them. Do that, and the 12-valve Cummins has one of the strongest reputations for extreme longevity in the pickup world. So if you handed me a properly maintained old Ram with a 12-valve Cummins and said, bet on one truck to survive the longest, this is where I'd put my money. Because sometimes the difference between a truck that dies at 200,000 miles and one that reaches 500,000 isn't the badge on the hood. It's whether someone was willing to keep taking care of it. So now I want to hear from you. Which pickup truck would you trust to reach 500,000 miles? Drop the truck and its current mileage in the comments. And if you enjoyed this countdown, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell. Because if you think these trucks are tough, wait until you see the machines built to survive the harshest conditions on Earth.